The defendant, Mr. Sweeney, was arraigned today on a multiple count indictment charged with murder in the first degree. And during the argument for bail, Senior Assistant District Attorney John Guidel raised certain points of evidence that were recovered at the scene, including chewing gum in the house, in the DiBrizzi house, with the DNA of Mr. Sweeney, and the probability that it was his DNA alone, I think, was 300 billion with a B to 1. Also, there was DNA evidence recovered from the fingernails of younger Mr. DiBrizzi, who was in a struggle with the assailant, and the DNA was consistent with Mr. Sweeney. The fact is that until Mr. Sweeney was released from state prison back in September, his DNA was not in the database. That until that DNA entered the system, there was no connection between Mr. Sweeney and this crime. And finally, that as a result of an identification procedure, that Mr. DiBrizzi picked Mr. Sweeney out of a photo lineup.
Can you talk a little about the chewing gum?
The chewing gum was found in the DiBrizzi household, in a household that is meticulously clean. So when the police arrived there to investigate the shooting back in 2004, it was one of the items that they secured as evidence. And they also took DNA samples from all the police and emergency medical people that were at the scene to be sure back then that it was not one of them, so that it wasn't a wild goose chase.